Hey kids, this is Mr. Cozy, and this is video 54. Very exciting, talking about the properties of logarithms. I can't wait to take you on a magical journey through the world of mathematics, so let's get started. There are four properties of logarithms that we're going to look at today, and most of them derive directly from the fact that logs and exponentials are inverses. Okay? So, without further ado, let's go through the properties. Property 1 states that if I take a log with any valid base of 1, I get 0. So log of 1 is always 0. And this is because if I take any number to the 0th power, I get 1. So this property derives just from taking this math fact and converting it to a logarithm. Okay, that the log of 1 is always 0. Property 2 is similar. If I take a log of my base, and the base has to be valid, meaning greater than 0 and not 1. But if I take a log of my base, I'm going to get 1 as an answer. Log of my base is always 1. And this comes from the fact that if I take any number and raise it to the first power, I get that same number. So taking this fact and writing it out as an exponential gives me the second property. Okay? Property 3 is a little more profound. If I take a log with some base of my base raised to a power, what I get is that exponent. Okay. Now this kind of comes from the fact that anything equals itself, and so if I use this as the base of my log, this as my exponent. Oops, that should be an x. There we go. Should be an x, and this is my answer. Okay. If I read this way, I can write it as this kind of logarithm. But more importantly, this comes from the fact that logs and exponentials are inverses. Okay? So for instance, if I take a log with 6 as a base of 6 raised to the second power, these two things will kind of cancel out because one is the inverse operation of the other. Raising 6 to the second power is the inverse operation of taking a log with 6 as a base. And what I get left over is the 2. Okay? Property 3 lets me cancel out a base and get at the exponent. Now, the catch is that the base has to match the base of the log has to match the base of the exponential. More importantly, guys, if you recall back when we talked about radicals, one of the things that I said was the act of raising a number to a power has two different kinds of inverses. And the difference is what part of this do you want to get at? Okay? If I want to get at the base, then I use some kind of a root. In this case, a cube root, because it's to the third power. If I want to get at the exponent, then I use a logarithm with the same base as the exponential. And this is important because which of these you use depends on where the variable is. I would use a root in the event that the variable was the base and I knew the exponent. I would use a log in the event that I knew the base and I wanted the exponent. Okay? So property 3 seems pretty simple, but it runs deep. And this is a property that we are going to use a lot to cancel out the base of an exponential. Okay? The last property also comes from the fact that logs and exponentials are inverses, and it just turns things around. If I take a base and raise it to the power of a log with the same base of some number, I'm going to end up with that number. These two actions are going to cancel each other out. So for instance, if I do 7 to the log with 7 as a base of 13, these two things are going to cancel out. Now I'll be left with just what's in the logarithm, just the 13. We're going to use this property to solve certain kinds of log equations where not everything is a logarithm. Okay? If I have something like log base 3 of x plus 1 equals 4, one way that I can solve this is to take each side of this equation and make them powers of 3. Because over here, these two things, according to property 4, cancel out, and I'm left with just x plus 1 equals 3 to the fourth, which I can then solve. Now this is going, don't worry too much about this. We'll talk more about that later. I just wanted you to see an application of this property. Okay? All right. I think I am done for today. We'll talk more tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.